Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to another art conversation with Farrin. How you're doing? We are here today with another talented artist, Aicy Karbstein. If I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, if not, I'm not pronouncing correctly. Correct me. She's an amazing contemporary artist that paint from her heart and mind to express happiness and harmony. Aicy, welcome to our conversation.
Well, thank you so much. Well, and thank you and now as well for inviting me to the show.
Well, we are so glad to have you today.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad that the storm, has passed. So I'm very well. I'm glad that
you are safe. All right, Aicy, we are so glad that you are here with us today and would love to hear about you, who you are, and a little bit about your background and how you became interested in art.
Well, my story as an artist actually began when I was a little child in Brazil. My great aunt motivated me a lot. She would give me papers and crayons when I was a little baby. And growing up, she often sat down and would ask me to draw her. So I draw her a lot. And I also took classes at the art museum in São Paulo, doing drawing of live models. And I didn't know how live models were back, when I was a little teenager. I thought it was like drawing my great aunt, but then I found out it was drawing nudes. And then I also got an internship at an ad agency doing illustrations. And as my passion for art evolved, I became interested in the paintings of the Renaissance and also the Impressionists. And for a while, I painted for healing and meditation. And at the time, I had a music business. So after I closed down my music business, I started painting professionally. And since then, my paintings have been in many exhibits, and I opened my studio gallery.
Wow, very interesting. What type of art you most identify with?
Well, currently, I really like the representational art, the representational paintings. I love to paint seascapes, like a lot of water. I love the water. And also cityscapes, especially historic towns. And also I'm crazy about antique cars.
Okay, yeah, I saw it in your website. We're gonna see some of this. How you choose the subject? Like, for example, the town. Are you traveling from one town to another town to see if you like it or not? Okay.
Well, I travel too, but most of the time what I do is I meditate before I paint.
Okay.
And yes, and the images come, and sometimes they are like images of places I had been or places that inspired me. And other times are just my imagination that came from my meditations.
Even the cityscape are from your imagination?
Those on my website, the Old Town Alexandria and the King Street, and many of the cityscapes there, they are from cities that I have been to or cities that I have lived. For instance, in Alexandria, I lived there, so I loved Old Town. I loved that it was a historic city, and also in the in the 21st century. You have to go to the cityscapes and seascapes. Oh, right there. Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, since you mentioned meditation, you mentioned in your website as well that you use meditation technique to paint. Would you please tell us what and how and why you use that technique?
Well, before I painted to meditate, and now I meditate before I paint because I was interested in painting and healing ever since I was a teenager. And when I was about 12 years old, in school, in art class, my teacher introduced me to pointillism. And although pointillism is very scientific, but I guess that's why I was interested in that, with the optical effect. I noticed that every time I would finish my art in pointillism, I would feel so relaxed. And having a little scientific mind, I thought, well, let me try to do that again and see if it happens every time. So then it did. And what I did was every time I would feel sad, for some reason, I would draw or paint using pointillism. And then as growing up as a business owner with the stress of the business world, I would also, do pointillism paintings or drawings to relax.
Exactly.
And then I was getting divorced and having a hard time, and I went to a monastery, and there I dove more deeply into the meditation, and I then did oils, like abstracts.
Yes.
But just putting colors so that according to each emotion I had, so that I could remove them from my mind and put them onto the canvas.
What people reaction to this meditation? Are people also use or have you ever used any painting to meditate someone or to heal someone?
Well,
or I should make it simple. What's the people reaction to
okay.
painting?
Well, I didn't
meditated you. So what's people reaction to?
Well, in the art world, I usually didn't tell people I used to meditate. I never, told people until recently. But my close friends knew that I meditated, and but they didn't know how my painting process worked. I never actually had told them that I first meditated and then painted, because when I started painting professionally, I started thinking about other people. So that meditation about doing abstracts and pointillism, that was to release my pressure. But when I started meditating, I had also these recurrent dreams that I had to add these meditation and healing into my art, to thinking about others.
Yes.
So now every time I paint, I always ask, what should I paint that will be beneficial to others?
Exactly.
So yeah, the reaction, you asked about the reaction first. I didn't tell people then. So a friend of mine was also going through a divorce, and she would come to visit me. And one day she said, every time I looked at this painting, I get so happy and I forget about my troubles. Yeah. And that was when I told her, because she was my close friend, and then she understood. And then another friend, which I never told him about it, he came to visit, and he said, this makes me feel so peaceful. Your art, exudes peace. And so I was, in my mind, okay, so it's working.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think create that type of feeling? Is it the type of color you use, or the type of subject you use make it that, relaxing or meditate feeling in it?
Well,
Or a combination of all this?
yes, it's a combination of all it. But it's like when you meditate, the image comes, and the image usually it's a pleasant one. And for some reason, currently it's more like a representational. And also the intention, you have to put that intention to be able to, benefit someone or many people. And also while I'm painting, I keep happy music playing. I love to paint and having lots of music, and especially mantras. That's what I learned in the monastery. And mantras are, sound vibrations that have a high vibratory frequencies that keep me connected to source. So when I paint this way, time goes by and I don't even notice.
I understand.
And then things just flow. And then the colors, they just, I don't really have to think about the color so much, except if I'm looking at a photo that I want to get like for instance, this lighthouse, it's a Piney Point lighthouse. And this view is a view that not many people see because in this area there is an oil rig. So I went by boat there and I entered inside that area of the oil rig and took a photo. And then later, when I was meditating, it said, okay, the lighthouse is not only a pretty image, a peaceful image, but also the symbol of the light. What does it do to light the path for the ships to sail safely?
Exactly.
So the story is there, and also the message of, having that light to
exactly.
Yeah.
A guidance, a light which you can kind of feel safe, to reach some safe
Exactly.
heaven somewhere close by.
Yeah.
Are you also painting from life, or most of your painting are from photo?
Well, yes, lately I have been painting mostly from photo or from just in my imagination. And I used to do in plein air paintings as well, but not currently. For the last, I would say for the last 5 years, for the last 10 years, I've been doing this meditating first and then painting, but plein air I haven't done lately.
So how your work changed over the time? So what was the first type of art you started with? I know you mentioned it, but I just want to see, like, you walk us through this step by step, what was before and how it changed over the time.
Well, when I was little, I did a lot of pointillism.
Okay.
And pointillism is very scientific, and you don't mix colors, you just put the dots of the opposing colors to make this optical illusion. But when I started painting professionally, that was when I started meditating before painting. I started painting Impressionism and Expressionism, and also some Symbolism, because I would put symbols. I think I have some examples there if you want to put down. It's one of the last.
Okay.
It's the early works.
Oh, so you okay, I can go back and then maybe we can come up. That's fine. That's fine. So I mean, I believe this is some of your symbolism, right?
Yes, yeah, symbolism and some expression of, putting the four elements in the quintessence is air, fire, water, earth. And I made the fifth element as being love. And also that the roots of love, the tree and the gold is healing. And with a strong foundation as the root, and the very expressive trunk with as the people, and has the results are the golden fruits, almost like connecting heaven and earth. So yeah, that was my early works, and of course the impressionism and the Key West sailing, like almost like Van Gogh's brush strokes, and lightning over Washington, D.C. That one actually, it was almost an image that I had seen when I was boating over there, and the storm was coming, and I saw lightning from far away, and I said, "Ah, oh, that's amazing! I love lightning, because of, I don't know, it's like this energy, So
Of course, if it didn't hit you, if it hit you,
that's right.
yeah, you like it from the far. You don't want it close by.
Right, right. And I like to see the light color that it produces, but it's a light show, right? But yeah, otherwise I would be one of those X-Men or the Marvel characters.
That would be good if all these things, all this Marvel movie come true. Um, yeah, so I saw earlier you use magnifying glasses for your work, which is, I believe, those are more of your current work and representative work. I just want to move back to our early discussion and see some of this, which is shows like, the process of you when you create an artwork. So for your current and representative work, you're taking a picture and then you start the process in your studio, right?
Right.
So how long it takes, and what media, by the way, you're working?
Yes, now I paint acrylics on canvas, because especially how fast the paint dries, so I can apply different layers. And with acrylics, I am able to put different colors as many hours as I can get on the day. Yes. Like I said, the time goes by and I don't even notice, because I'm like, so yeah, it's acrylic on canvas. And I, when I have to do the details, because I like to add as many details as my eyes can see, I use a small brush and the 20-0, the round 20-0, and so I can put little dabs of light that is inside the house, or whatever detail it is.
Yes. Do you have who are your biggest influence? Is it something, is it anything in your I mean, it's not only inspiration, but influence in terms of artists. Do you have any artists which is inspired you or influenced your work?
Well, yes, of course, besides my great aunt who made me flourish, it was mostly the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, Michelangelo, and also the Impressionists, Renoir, Monet. I even went to Giovanni to see the garden, the water lilies, and I visited museums that are around the world. But currently, and also there is one mystic, American mystic, Harvey Spencer Lewis. He painted also, so I got a little inspiration there. Yeah. And currently, I respect and admire many of my contemporaries. Not that they influence my paintings, but I love the diversity that is out there. Like my friend, my neighbor, Patricia, she does work on textiles, and another friend, Kathy in Colonial Beach, she does paintings, but also she does some work with rocks and drawings. And another one, Christina in Sweden, she does painting symbolism. So I like to see the diversity of art that is out there. So, and that helps me think that we are all connected, and together with all our techniques, we can give some amazing work in the world.
Yeah, we all inspired each other,
Yes,
right?
yes.
For the work in this detail, let me see some of work here. How long it takes to finish from
Well,
from start to end, something like
yeah.
this?
This one actually took me about 6 weeks of 6 to 8 hour a day.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's just I couldn't stop painting, and I loved the details on the cars because I love to paint cars. So all the cars, and also the airplane, and the color of that's a restaurant, the yellow one, because in Old Town everything is a brick color, kind of like homogeneous. So when I saw the Italian restaurant Il Porto, it's yellow, I was like immediately, oh, I need to paint that to see that a difference, and then get your eyes from there all the way to the river, to the Potomac River. And so that just
mhm.
I was so
If
blown.
someone able to zoom, they can see all the detail,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And the airplane and cars.
yes.
So this,
Yes, I wrote in the airplane, I wrote American,
oh, really? Oh,
and there
oh,
is a little like the landing gear, because the airplane is on final approach to Ronald Reagan Airport, and the restaurants have all the signs and the numbers. So
oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's
I definitely am gonna check it out after the show and
car plates.
see what detail you have. It's very interesting. I love detail. I myself, I work with magnifying glasses, and then
Oh, awesome.
you see, I love to see the detail, like in detail works. Um, so are these like all your cityscape, and then and in between you have some seascape, but you said also you love cars.
Yes.
So why you love cars? It's like silly question.
Yes, I'm a little tomboy, I guess.
Collecting cars too, or you just like to paint them?
Well, my father, he used to buy old cars, very old, like in the 1930s, cars, and all broken down, and he would fix them. And I was a little child, and I would ask him, oh, can I please help? And of course, being a little kid, I didn't help, but he was so nice. He would give me like little tools and tell me to do this and that on the cars. So I got this passion for antique cars from there. Growing up, I always, was crazy about stuff like that. And so when I started painting it, I'm like, I want to actually not only see the cars, because I also go to car shows. So when I see them, I'm like, okay, I'm so happy to see them, but I want to be able to see them a lot. Right
Like
there.
you have them, you
Right.
collect a painting, at least if you can collect a car.
Yes, exactly. They are more affordable.
Yeah, I know, right?
And luckily, I
Are
met
you
some
going to these
people.
people and said, okay, can I take a picture and then paint you like this, right? Or
These ones, they were commissioned work.
okay,
So what they did was they gave me their photos, and sometimes several little photos that I put them together to make one scene.
okay, okay.
So yeah, that's how it happened. Those are commissioned works, so they were out of photos. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then also I see you have some cityscape, and what about this? Are you for this also you use photo, or these are come from your memories?
Well, yes, I was boarding on the height of COVID because we couldn't go anywhere, right? We couldn't socialize. So, you know, my husband and I on the boat, it was okay. So we passed by this area on the Potomac River, and I saw it was like the sun was down. It was almost evening, and I saw these birds perched on the poles, and I'm like, oh my God, these birds are like us humans being, you know, practicing social distancing.
Yeah, it's 6 feet apart, right?
Right, nature is, you know, in congruency, you know, we're all together.
Yes, I know. So they also doing social distance 6 feet apart. I mean, that's the sign you see almost everywhere when you go,
Yeah,
right?
right. But I also
Funny.
wanted, I also wanted to make the water flowing a lot because uh, almost like a way of saying that this too shall pass. You know, there is this ebb and flow that happens, and you know, just enjoy the moment, enjoy now, whatever issue is, you know.
And it's, yeah, I mean, life is like, it's not standing for us to, like, I mean, this is something, as you said, it's past and flowing. So the
Mm.
river also shows the flowing of life, which is it completely make sense. And we saw some of this your symbolism art, and here, do you what you do during these 2 years of COVID?
You mean in 2020, in 2021?
And 20 and now currently, how that affect you, this COVID? Is it, I mean, should I say, it that affect you at all? I mean, your painting or your business, or it was,
Well,
yeah.
of course, for about a year and a half, I didn't have in-person exhibits, but we had online exhibits, juried exhibits. It's the International Guild of Realism and the National Oil and Acrylic Society, and in several others. But actually, the COVID didn't affect me, my personal life much, because, you know, as an artist, we spend most of our times in the studio.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I couldn't have people come to my studio and look at the paintings. And so, you know, people would email me and I would tell them to go to the website. But most people like to buy art in person, seeing them in person.
Exactly.
Yes. So what I did was I spent the time painting, and I created a whole lot of seascapes, especially, you know, water scenes, and many of them got sold recently,
Yeah.
and it didn't affect me much.
Yeah, so it kind of was create, unfortunately, I should say, opportunity. I mean, this is like, you're not the only one to feel bad, that I myself do. It create kind of opportunity for everyone to sit back and do what you love, You can
Exactly.
go after business or selling or thing, but you can creating. Sitting
Yeah.
at home, why not, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
are
sometimes
we
I
gonna
feel
do?
guilty when I say that, because I know many people suffering a lot. I mean, but I mean, at the other side, if you positive side of it, it creates some kind of
Yes.
opportunity to sit and slow down and
Yes,
look at
correct.
yourself and look at your family.
And also you can paint stuff that, you know, whatever your your calling is. In my case, I like to paint things that will make people happy, because many of my friends would say, oh, I'm so sad, I can't go out. And I'm like, look at this picture, look at this painting. Hopefully it will be happy, it will make you happy.
Exactly. Yes, something when it comes from heart, it's safe or it goes to heart. So we say, and I have a list of your exhibition, which is look like you are busy this year, and you have a lot of exhibition and your artwork in an art display in many places. Do you have any last word for our guest today, Aicy?
Yes, I always tell people, whether they want to be an artist or they are already an artist, to always follow your heart. Follow your heart, follow your passion, do what you love. And don't forget to share that with others so they can benefit from your gifts and talents. And maybe the world can be a better place.
His birthplace already because of you and many
Oh.
other artists. Thank you very much for sharing, and you are 100% right, right? Follow our heart. That's all we can do. So if anyone want to reach out to Aicy, these are her information, website, Instagram, Facebook, and email as well. You can reach out to her. She has amazing artwork in her website, which you can see, and make sure to zoom in because that's how you can see the detail. So detail is everything in her work. And as usual, if you want to reach out to us at office@nawa.org or Instagram, currently we have Instagram page, which is you can reach out to us. Or if you're a NAWA member, you can again message us, and would love to have you in our show. Aicy, thank you very much for being our guest today, and hope to see you and see more of your work in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and you are amazing. Thank you so much.